Speaking to diversity, setting the scene with small changes, implementing inclusive practice in my teaching environment by Leslie Ann Flynn. I will begin by identifying a need within my teaching. I will give an overview of my redesign activity through a trauma-informed lens. I will discuss the considerations relating to implementing this redesign. I will reflect on the redesign, and finally, I will conclude with where I plan to go to next. According to the American Psychological Association, trauma is any disturbing experience that results in significant fear, helplessness, disassociation, confusion, or other disruptive feelings intense enough to have a long-lasting negative effect on a person's attitudes, behaviours, and other aspects of functioning. Traumatic events include those caused by human behaviour, rape, war, industrial accidents, as well as by nature, so earthquakes, and often challenge an individual's view of the world as a just, safe, and predictable place. So let's set the scene. On February 24th, 2022, Russia commenced war on neighbouring Ukraine, causing the mass displacement of thousands of Ukrainian citizens, of which Ireland welcomed 79,355. Let's look at the impact. There was now an increased number of refugees being integrated into our education system. I returned to work in September 2023, facing a cohort of students that were now fleeing from trauma, living in hotels or with nowhere to live, facing safety and well-being issues, as well as language and cultural barriers. While trauma studies have produced important insights into the relationship between psychic suffering and the impossibility of knowing trauma, critics in various disciplines have been arguing that the cultural, social, historical, and political aspects of trauma should not be ignored. A sentiment I agree with. As an educator, I now had to be aware of the 6 trauma-informed principles, which were safety, trust, choice, collaboration, empowerment, and cultural considerations of the students sitting in front of me. Complex trauma has also been studied in relation to the students' academic performance, and researchers argue that it can have certain negative effects on this, such as reduced cognitive capacity, sleep disturbance, difficulties with memory, and language delays. Research on refugee background students has sometimes promoted a deficit perspective, construing refugees as lacking in social, psychological, and linguistic resources, something I want to avoid doing. So in order to overcome these barriers, I took a flipped classroom approach. I made notes available 1 week prior to class to allow students access these notes, read them at their leisure and in a place that they felt comfortable. These notes were in accessible formats in order to facilitate easy translation. I had discussion forums on Moodle to allow students ask questions, make comments, in order to promote peer-to-peer integration. Additional resources were provided if they wanted to read on, to go on and learn more about the topic. And also in class, PowerPoint Live was used in face-to-face sessions to allow real-time translation in their mother language. This was used to empower the students. Karen Treisman stated that every moment and interaction can be an intervention. This has resonated with me. So by using the flipped classroom and being mindful of the 6 trauma-informed practice principles. I want to make my classroom a safe environment so we could develop trust. I hoped this would enrich their experience and empower them as learners by giving choice and opportunities for collaboration in an equitable educational environment that is conscious of all students' cultural considerations. So having implemented the flipped classroom approach to my customer service level 5 module and reflecting on my own teaching, I now want to find out how the learners felt about the approach. In order to do this, an anonymous evaluation form was sent out using Microsoft Forms, which the students were asked to complete. And it seemed to be an overall success, with words like feeling included, it was achievable, it was simple, easy, calm, enjoyable. They felt confident in the subject matter. These were all words that popped up within the Microsoft Forms. As Treisman states, behaviour is a means of communication. Given the responses from my learners, I will continue using the flipped classroom approach. I plan to expand the use of the flipped classroom into my other modules. And I really want to engage in more dialogue with our students to ensure their ever-changing needs are being met. Because we can't help everybody, but we can all help somebody. Thank you.